Now, one thing I want to keep an eye on this year in 2024 is Japanese sealed products. Now in 2023, we had a big boom of the Japanese market. Things went absolutely crazy, with some booster boxes going up 5, even 6 times the value compared to what it's supposed to be selling for, which is absolutely crazy. Even though Pokemon Japan have now brought in the made to order to try and tackle scalpers, to be perfectly honest, things are getting slightly better for the prices. Doesn't mean you can't collect any Japanese Pokemon sealed product, because I do feel like there is a real good potential there. However, some can be pitfalls and some can be very good. It's hard to always tell which ones are the best ones. So today we're taking a look at the Japanese Pokemon sealed market. Get into it. Alright guys, we're doing something a little bit different today. We're taking a look at the Japanese Pokemon market. I don't normally talk about the Japanese Pokemon market, mainly because it's not really been something that I've been massively interested in. I mainly collect English. I don't normally go for Japanese. However, we do open up a lot of Japanese product in the live streams. We pretty much do every single new Japanese set that drops. And I have a soft spot for the high class sets, things like V-Star Universe, Shiny Treasure, VMAX Climax, and so on. I do feel like those are absolutely fantastic sets, and I kind of wish we had something similar for English. But there are some other sets in the Japanese market, mainly other 30-pack booster boxes, that have done very well, and some are really cheap as well to collect, pick up and add into your collection. So let's take a look today at pokejaceinfo at some Japanese sealed product. First up, we have Ancient Roar, which was one part which became Paradox Rift. This is just a normal booster box with 30 packs in them, and we're looking at $61 on eBay, which is actually not too bad. You're looking around about $2 a booster pack because you get 30 packs inside. And as you can see, I mean, we go back over the last 6 months, basically when it came out, this booster box did actually reach a high of nearly $100 and is recently starting to drop off. And that is mainly because there are some cards in the set which are great. Of course, you've got the Roaring Moon, which is going to be the biggest card in the set. But then again, it is tough to pull some of these really big chase cards in these Japanese sets. Now, Japanese quality control, in my opinion, is way better than English. So graded cards tend to get higher values, but because of how difficult these cards are to pull, isn't that necessarily that many of them. So yeah, this is actually a pretty cheap one to pick up. I mean, you could pick up some Ancient Roar over here in the UK for around about £60 a box, so that's one thing to look out for. Of course, when we take a look at the set, hey look, most expensive card is a waifu card. Look, you can see here guys, $138 for this. We've got the Roaring Moon here for $127. We've actually got pretty decent value cards. I always talk about sets that have, we're talking about English, about sets that have cards over a certain value. Like how many does it have over $20, $10 or whatever? This is like $60 box, okay? And we have quite a few cards. It's holding good value. I mean, look, we've got some here. We've got loads around the 15 mark. And don't forget, in a lot of these Japanese sets, you only get one secret rare. Now, secret rare could just be a normal full art, but as we can see, normal full arts can actually hold good value, right? I mean, we got some full arts there. We got a full art Roaring Moon there. So things like that can actually hold decent value. I mean, look, we've got an uncommon, but it looks like it's probably reverse actually. $18. Yeah, $138 and $127. We have two cards over $100 for a set that costs $60. For a set that costs $60, which is absolutely incredible. So that's just an example of a more weaker set, but still a pretty good performing one, to be fair, when it comes to the single cards. Take a look at Shiny Treasure. Now, I don't have booster boxes on here, but booster boxes are going for anywhere between 80 to 100. They are, dropping in price. They are actually going down. The hype is dying down from a little bit. But we got big money cards in this set. This is one of the high class sets, one of the most recent high class sets. We've been opening this up a hell of a lot on the channel. And look, I enjoy it. Everyone else enjoys it. Part of me wants to collect it myself. Let me know down in the comments, guys, if you think I should be opening up some Shiny Treasure on the channel for my own collection. But we have the Iono, big, again, waifu card coming in, $356. That's insane, for a card to be going for that price. We've got the Charizard going for $250. We've got the Mew, big fan favorite there, $125. My favorite card in the set, the Gardevoir, going for $100. We got Penny, $100. We got a Baby Shiny coming in at the Pikachu at $90. And so on and so forth. So, I mean, we got cards in the 20s, the 30s, even more 20s. This is nuts. Like, this is absolutely crazy. And to think it's in a high class set, right? You only get 10 packs in a box. It's going to do really well. Like, these sets always do incredibly well. And if you're paying like $80 a box for this, for a chance to pull a $300 card is crazy. I mean, we're paying way more than that for an English set. And you don't get as many hits. I mean, on average, I think you get like 13 hits per box. I think we worked out. You get 13 hits per box. That's really, really good for the price point, you know. And if you get one of the big money cards, it's like an additional card, so that's going to go in at 14 hits per box. That is really, really good. Like, let's be fair, way better than English. So this is a set definitely worth opening for sure, but I also think it's a great set to keep sealed as well. We're looking at a set like Raging Surf, another set that became a Paradox Rift in English, similar to Ancient Roar. And let's take a look at this booster box. So this was actually an example of one that had a lot of hype. You know, it came out, a lot of people were talking about it. You know, people were seeing stuff like the Growlon and the Garchomp and things like that, and they're like, wow, this is going to be a pretty good set. It is a good set. But then the print to demand came into effect, and we've been seeing these booster box prices drop to pretty much where they should be. Let's be honest, they shouldn't be up here. No way should they be up at this 140 mark. They should be down where they are now, at around $60 and even less. You know, it was around 58 or so there. Now over here in the UK, this is again about £60 for this booster box. This is a 30-pack booster box. It is a good set. You know, again, you don't get a huge amount of hits from the normal sets. You only get one kind of like secret rare per box. But still, if you're paying 60, that's not too bad. You know, when we take a look at the cards in the set, we're not looking at big money cards in this one, right? And that's probably one of the reasons why this set actually dropped quite a lot in the sealed product. I mean, it's no longer one, you know, 40 box. We're looking at about 60, mainly because the most expensive card is $46, and you got the Garchomp there at 37. There are some cards that's holding somewhat value, but it does drop quite quickly. So this is kind of a more of what I would deem as a weaker set to collect, not necessarily just to open, but also to keep sealed. There isn't any big cards that jump out at me, you know, to be fair, and we can see that in the prices. You know, there isn't any big fan favorite character cards. There's no big favorite Pokemon in here, so that's probably one of the reasons why it's towards one of the weaker sets of recent, you know, for Japanese, but still, nonetheless, not too bad. Now, I want to talk to you guys about Pokemon 151. This is a very strong performing Japanese set. So this came out way before the English version, and booster boxes shot up massively. You know, as you can see, they were at 140. They did reach nearly 200 a box, and people were selling these for over £200 here in the UK. I mean, some of the packs were selling for even more on live streams and things like that. And it was getting crazy. It really was getting crazy. People were on the hunt for God packs. People were on the hunt for the best Pokemon Master Ball Reverse and things like that. This set is incredible. It is definitely worth the hype. Is it worth the price though? That is the key. Now, Pokemon did actually print this quite heavily, and you do see the price drop to as low as 140, and it kept creeping up and more kept getting printed. But to be fair, the print to demand only has a certain lifespan, right? They don't just keep printing to demand forever. They only do it for a period of time, and then that's it. And I think we're starting to come to that point now where the booster boxes are back up to where they once were, if not higher, at nearly $200 a booster box. Now over here in the UK, we did actually see, like, again, more stock hitting us, and it was dropping to around 120, 130 a box, and then it started now to tick up, and it's pushing about 185 to 190 a box. So it is on the uprise. When we take a look at the single cards in this set, they are big money cards, right? We've got the Pikachu Master Ball Reverse at nearly $300, Erica's Invitation $200. There are, you know, of course, with the Mew, we get it in, you know, English UPC, but you get in this set. There are a ton of big money cards. There are, what, 5 cards that's over $100. We have a, you know, a bunch of Master Ball Reverses, which are holding incredible value. You got the Mewtwo, the Eevee, you know, we got the Erica's Invitation. There are just so many big fan favorite, and it's the reverses. Now you get 1 Master Ball per box guaranteed. I mean, look, even if you just pull one of these Master Ball reverses, you're getting $50 instant value straight there. And on top of that, you could be putting things like the Zapdos, you could be putting things like the Erica's Invitation, you know, you could be getting things like the Blastoise. You could be doing really well with a booster box, even though they're about $200. They do get 20 packs compared to the normal 30 and compared to the high class of 10. Trying to get that middle ground. You're looking at around about $20. You're looking at around about $10 or so a booster pack. I think it's worth it. If I'm being honest, I do think the Pokemon 151 Japanese is still worth it to open, but definitely worth it to keep sealed. I think it'll be an absolute home run. I think it's better than English, in my opinion. So if you want to collect 151, you want to keep it sealed, Japanese one is the way to go. But it does have a high entry point of the price being at $200. Right. We're going to talk about Clayburst. Clayburst was an interesting one because this one kind of kicked Pokemon into gear and trying to do this print to demand. Now, we'll take a look. We'll have a little trip down memory lane. This booster box was $130 or $135, right? This is just a normal 30-pack booster box. Similar to what we've already seen. Raging Surf being $60, the Ancient Roar, like those sets are supposed to be realistically around that 45 to 50, right? So 60 is getting close there, but 130 was ridiculous. People were like, no way on earth am I paying that type of money. But then when the set came out, guys, it was nearly 200, or it was 200 a box. This is just a normal 30-pack set. We're not talking about a specialty set, holiday set, or anything. This is a normal booster box at $200. It had the Iono. Now, the Iono came out at $1,500 raw. It was, at the time, the most expensive modern era Pokemon card you could probably think of, to be fair. It just smashed the Moonbreon out of the park. It was absolutely crazy. People were going mental to get hold of Clayburst, and then it got printed into demand, and even then it's still $100, which is still incredibly good. Speaking of Clayburst, speaking of Iono, it's now $600. We're gonna look at the Iono, right? We're gonna look at the Iono. So this has actually dropped quite a bit. So look at these prices. It's ridiculous, right? So we go back a year, so we saw the boxes at 200, right? Let's look at this. So let's look at, so raw is the blue. So raw was around 1,300, so yeah, nearly 1,500, right? PSA 10 at one point was over 2 grand. Yeah, pretty mental. So since then, I mean, a PSA 10 is still over $1,100, which is absolutely incredible. And raw, we're looking at around about $600 or so for it raw. That is still ridiculous. And even if you look at the rest of the set, I mean, you do have some cards at whole value, but not really. It is all in these two Ionos. You got the special illustration rare, and of course, normal art, and everything else is pretty cheap, right? $18, $16, $14, $5, $6. Not necessarily great. It's all in those two cards. Is Clayburst going to be a good set moving forward? I still think it is. The chase will be on for this Iono, 100%. And I do feel like we look at Paldea Evolved and things like that, and I do feel like Paldea Evolved is also a really good set. I think Clayburst is going to be very good as well. And you had Snow Hazard, which was the other half of Paldea Evolved. Didn't really contain anywhere near as craziness as the Iono. And there was always a lot of buzz around Clayburst. Over here in the UK, it is about £100 a box. It is actually quite pricey. So it's definitely one to look out for. But I do feel like there are some really good ones. And down the line, we could talk about like which ones are great pickups, and which ones aren't. But I think we cannot now ignore the Japanese Pokemon market, because it is moving, and it's moving fast. There you have it, guys. That is just a little snapshot of what's been going on in the Japanese Pokemon market. We have Shining Treasure out at the moment, and Shining Treasure has been doing really well, like I say. And as you can see, the values a lot of these Japanese sets have it. I mean, Raging Surf is kind of more on the weaker side. They give you an idea of a set which isn't necessarily a great one to open, and one that's not really great to collect sealed. But there are still really good ones as well. You want to take a look at places like Poke.io, where I just looked at today. They give you an idea of the Japanese market, because on TCG Player they don't cover it. So it's a really good idea, and I'm actually leaning more and more towards actually getting some Japanese product this year. I've never done it before. I have like 1 EV Heroes box and 2 VMAX Climax boxes. That's all I've got. I haven't really got anything else. So it is definitely something which I'll be looking forward to in the future, especially this year, at what Japanese sets are coming out, what the cards are going to look like. I'm going to go back and pick up some more boxes of some of the sets that I've missed, and I'm going to maybe open up some more. Let me know down in the comments, guys, what are your thoughts on the Japanese market. Do you collect Japanese Pokemon cards? Can you help give anyone else any tips when collecting in Japanese, more than what I can provide? Let us know down in the comments, guys. And also let me know whether or not you want to see me open up some Japanese product. I'm tempted to open up some myself, starting with Shiny Treasure and maybe some Pokemon 151. Let me know down in the comments, guys, and I'll see what I can do for you. If you made this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. And if you want to know what's going on in the English market, then make sure to click the video on screen right now. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright, guys, that's it for me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends. See you in the next one.